Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today, as you all see by the title, Daredevil Born Again is finally out after 7 years of waiting. Wow, it's like he never left. Today we are going to be talking about 2 episodes that released. Personally, I feel like we are off to a rough start. I will get to my points and try to keep this as thorough and as quick as possible. So let's just get right to it. I would like to be very clear on something before we get into more detail, that I am very excited and I'm very grateful that Daredevil is back. And now he is even more connected than before to the wider and broader side of the MCU. Like I said, I'm super grateful for that. It's actually a miracle that he's even back to begin with because of all the fans that just fought for him to return. So super grateful for that. So in preparation for Daredevil Born Again, I decided to actually go ahead and rewatch all 3 seasons of the original Daredevil series. Lo and behold, you can actually go and watch that over on Disney Plus now. Highly recommend. Phenomenal show, especially the last season, which we are going to be talking about. In preparation for that, I wanted to get all my thoughts and I wanted to get all 3 seasons fresh in my head, because I feel like that in preparation for this show, knowing it was a revival of the character, knowing that, you know, things were going to be changed, and most of all, it was going to be handled by a different team under a new regime, under Disney. Wow, that rhymed. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Knowing that it's going to be under a new creative team, I was a little bit worried, so I wanted to go back and watch the old series just to get, you know, the feel of how it all started in the beginning. Let's just get right off with my stuff that I think why it's rough in the first place. So my biggest issue, and spoilers ahead, this is your warning. They decided to make a big decision by killing off Foggy Nelson, and some might say that this is Matt's family. Heck, even his brother in some ways, right? I sure do think so. And to top it off, we do get the trio back: Murdoch, Karen, and Foggy. It's almost like Disney just kind of disregarded that and almost, I guess you could say, spit in some of the OG fans' faces. This being, they killed off Foggy, and now Karen is sort of sidelined now in the show, and she doesn't really pop up as much. The first 5 minutes of the show is very rough, let's just say that. The reason why I'm a little bit salty about this is because if you watch the original series, you get to see the buildup between Matt and Foggy as they started out together as 2 avocados, starting up their law firm, trying to build up that clientele and helping those in need in New York, or in specifically Hell's Kitchen, right? And then we are introduced to Karen later on the show, and they just sort of create this triangle of a family, a dynamic trio that is so rewarding to watch throughout the whole seasons of the last series. And knowing that they were going to come back, bring back that trio over at Disney for Born Again, it almost feels like they baited us, because now they're not really around. And I know that Foggy and Karen are confirmed for season 2. Most likely it's just for flashback scenes, you know, but I really wanted to see the trio again head over to the more connected side of the MCU and just sort of weave their way through all together, all 3 of them. And now it's just Matt, and I feel like Disney only thought that the fans wanted Kingpin and Daredevil, but we also wanted that trio because that's what made that part of the show in the last series so integral. And some would say that was literally the heart of the show. It was those 3 characters together working side by side and trying to figure out how to go about their business and protecting the city in that matter. So with Foggy's death, it sort of creates this rift between Karen and Matt, and it leaves a hole in their friendship. And so in doing so, she leaves New York to go live in San Francisco, and she comes back eventually in the show. It's only for a brief period, of course, and she's talking to Matt, and it's for court. It's for a court scene about Poindexter, aka Bullseye, who he kills off Foggy. And Matt's giving a big speech, and, you know, Karen walks into the courtroom. After that speech, you know, they have a little bit of an interaction, and they're talking about Foggy and, you know, what's Matt gonna do with Daredevil? Is he gonna continue being a vigilante? All that stuff. And he puts all that behind him. So the death happens with Foggy, and Matt decides to go through with hanging up the suit. Now, if you remember in the last season of Daredevil, in the original series, season 3, Matt loses his trust with God and has to regain that trust and is trying to find a way to become Daredevil again. So we see him ground zero, first episode after the events of the Defenders. Matt loses himself, doesn't know who he is. He's trying to find himself again. We see him build himself up again, and what really helps is Karen and Foggy still trying to be his friends, and being the friends that care about him. They want to be there for him despite, you know, the stuff that he put them through. And now it just feels like they're gone, and now Matt has these new people in his life, and let's get into that now. So we have some new characters. Look, it's cool that, you know, Matt wants to keep continuing doing his lawyer work. He's at a new law firm. There are some new characters in there, but I have to say real quick, the new characters, they don't really add much. There's not much chemistry between them and Matt, and I just feel like they're sort of replacements in a way, right? Because I'm watching these characters and I don't even remember their names. I mean, I'm just like, I'm still shocked about what had happened with Foggy and Karen, and I'm just like, I was so excited to see these three together again, and now it's like we have new faces. Now mind you, I know what some of you might be thinking, oh, you wasn't expecting new characters or what. I was expecting new characters. I was excited to see the new characters that were going to interact with the existing characters, but you already had heavily established characters in Matt's life that were such an integral part to his character, and you sidelined them, you kicked them to the curb, and you replaced them with these new characters. There's no really memorable moments between any of them, and I'm just like, come on guys, I really want to see the trio. So again, that's just my personal opinion. I know some might not care, and I want to point out too, there is a huge distinction between Daredevil fans that I've seen in the Marvel community. There are the fans that have watched the original series, and then there are fans that have not watched the original series. And then there is also fans that did watch the original series, but like years and years ago. That is why I rewatched all 3 seasons to have it fresh in my head, because you get to see the tone. Some would say it's more grounded, right? More grounded. Cinematography is a lot different. Look, I was all for a different look of Daredevil under Disney. It's cool. They got that Disney budget now. They could do things with Daredevil that they couldn't before in the Netflix series, like showing him more acrobatically, showing him doing flips in the air and doing all these cool tricks and stuff. That's cool. I love that. That's amazing. Let's keep doing more of that, okay? I think we should keep doing more of that stuff, right? Use the budget to their best of their ability. However, yes, CGI is not always going to be the best. I don't know what's going on there. It was a little bit noticeable, but hey, I can, you know, I can let that go. You know, I can let that slide. So those are just some of the things I'm just kind of like nitpicky about, I guess you could say. I mean, not even nitpicky. I mean, that's literally what happened in the show, and literally the first 5 minutes. I think they just wanted to create shock value, but the writers did say that they wanted to create a huge decision in kicking off one of the characters, because again, the show is called Born Again, and I guess they wanted to find a way to weave that title into, I guess, the new show, the new theme of it. We need Daredevil to be born again, so kill off one of his most important characters of all time. They're gonna kill off Foggy. Matt's gonna find his way again, and it almost feels like a repeat of season 3 of the last show, because like I said, Matt's trying to find his way to become Daredevil again, and now we're gonna do that again in the new show. He's not Daredevil anymore. He put that behind him, but now it's like they're trying to create this whole theme of like he is trying to find new ways, or he's trying not to give in to the quote-unquote devil, his dark passenger, because Daredevil is his dark passenger. It is his way of letting out his intrusive, I guess you could say, thoughts when when his day job is not working out for him. That's what Matt does. He just goes out and handles it by himself. So that's sort of my core issues with the show so far, but I am hopeful based off the marketing for the show and the trailers, which look so cool, by the way. I am a little bit disappointed, but I am hopeful. It's only 2 episodes in, so I understand. You know, I don't want to be too harsh, but those are just some of the things that I've noticed, and I just want to be grateful again at the end of the day, not too harsh. I'm very excited that he's back in the first place. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash the new show. I know it takes a village to make a show like this, of course, and it's great that, you know, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, the main character, is back, and I'm excited to see more. So let me know what you guys all think down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you seen the original series? What do you think of the last 3 seasons? Are you going into this blind?
Say that again?
Are you going into this fresh, or did you watch the original series and now you're gonna watch Born Again? Let me know down below. Would love to hear it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.